Hello and thank you so much for tuning into the Console Xplosion podcast. I am ThePhilocypher and I had the privilege of sitting down and talking to three hardcore fighting game enthusiasts. These guys attend many of the fighting game tournaments and have fought against some of the top tier players in our country. I've learned so much from these individuals. They're very skilled and my game has gotten a lot better just from talking to these guys and playing a few sets with them. The first guest is Mark Master Shake Tucker. He was also featured on the Combo Breaker episode. I've known this guy for a few years and it's been amazing seeing his fighting game community grow from just an idea to what it is now. The next guests are newcomers to the podcast. Ben and Holden, or Octopus on Fire and Ume Holden are their handles. These are some damn good players and I have had the privilege of picking their brains and sitting down playing a few sets with them. I highly recommend you guys going and checking out their stream. I'll have all the links posted down below. I did have some unexpected noise issues during the recording of this podcast, but the conversation was really good and I didn't want to cut it short, so we kept on going with it and I really hope you guys enjoy it. Of course, again, I have Mark, aka Master Shake of the House of M. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing, Pete?
Doing good. And then I have two fighting game fanatics over here. I have Holden and Ben. How are you guys doing?
Awesome. Good.
All right. Street Fighter V has thrown out a lot of information out at us. There's a bunch of new characters being released, or at least a few. One of my personal favorites is Ken. He's announced there is a beta coming out very, very soon that we'll probably do a first impressions on. A new character has come out. What was his name again? Nikali?
Nikali, yeah.
Yeah, Nikali, who looks very awesome. So far, what do you guys think about all the characters that are coming out? Like, all the ones that are released so far. Like, which one are you guys looking forward to the most?
I'd have to say any of them, because he was such crap in the old games. I'd probably be looking forward to Birdie the most. And I'm a fan. I've always been a grappler fan, so I'd have to say probably Birdie is one of the main ones I'm looking forward to.
Which games has he been in? Because I'm not a big Birdie guy.
He was in the Alpha series.
Okay.
And he wasn't very good. He was kind of like a Balrog Zangief hybrid, but not a very good one.
That's actually a really good way to... Yeah, because he had rush moves and a grappler,
really?
And he sucked.
And then Alpha 3, when they added Balrog and Zangief, Zangief was in Alpha 2, and yeah, he just couldn't stack up with him.
Really?
But his redesign was really good. It was really creative. That's what I liked about him.
Looks really gross, the way he's always licking his chain and doing that.
Like a rapist?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, exactly.
They announced that there's going to be, like, classic costumes, so he might have an outfit where he's not so fat.
Yeah,
well, he always licked his chain, though. That's like a thing he's always had.
Yeah.
So he's still gonna look like a rapist.
Yeah.
Well, the muffin top is a little weird, but hey, if they're doing classic costumes, that'd be pretty cool.
He's one that had the mohawk with the hole in the head, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now he just has a messed up mohawk.
Yeah, it's like a balding mohawk or something, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Or what about you?
As far as the beta goes, not all the announced characters are going to be there, so I'm probably going to play Charlie a lot. As far as the other ones go, though, Nikali looks pretty awesome. I mean, I main Blanca, so that whole, like, primal fighter type thing is, my style anyway, so.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to put Blanca in the game?
I don't know. I honestly don't think so, but it'd be cool if they did.
Yeah. Wait, what is Nikali, how does he kind of play now?
I don't really know if they've released much details of how he's going to play.
Yeah, they've only done the showcase, right?
All they've had is the trailer, and they tell you what his special moves are, what his V trigger and his V skill is, but they don't really say how he plays.
Okay. Yeah. And then, Holden, what are you looking forward to?
Ken Masters, of course.
Who are you going to play in the beta?
I'll mess with everybody.
Yeah.
I'll probably do a solid day with every character just because they all look cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know, Ryu looks sick. I really like the way that Ryu gets more Ryu in every iteration of Street Fighter, and Ken gets more Ken. Like, they're separating that.
Yeah.
And I like that they gave him a parry, and I like that the parry's not broken. Because as soon as I saw the parry, I was like, oh great, so now you can just down back and crouch, and option select parry, and option select crouch tech at the same time, but there's no crouch teching, and so that it's not broken. And there's also recovery time on it, so it's not as good as the Street Fighter 3 Third Strike parries because there was like 0 recovery on that.
Yeah.
And Bison looks sick and ridiculous. I don't play charge characters, but I'll still mess with him. I wish Ken was in it.
Yeah. You and me both. Yeah.
Because he looks so awesome. Oh, Cammy. I keep forgetting about Cammy for some reason. I'll honestly probably play her the most, but
Right.
I will give everybody a try.
You bring up a good point, though, is that there's a lot of complex mechanics to a fighting game. And I feel like Street Fighter, a lot of what you said might have gone over some of the people's heads. Like, I know what you're talking about to an extent, but it's always been very intimidating to get new people into the fighting game community because of the learning curve. You know, do you think that 5 is going to kind of try to help level the playing field?
I mean, there's a lot of things going on with it, but it's also going to be easier to play because you're taking the execution down a couple notches. Mm-hmm. So you can have your bummy NRS and Tekken players play it.
Yeah.
Because they don't have combo timing. Like a lot of my friends that play Tekken or like Mortal Kombat, you just kind of 1, 2, 3. There's not much combo timing, but like with Street Fighter 4, you're talking 1/60th of a second for certain combos. And that's just really difficult to people if they haven't done that their whole life.
Yeah.
And they're taking that out in Street Fighter 5, so it'll be easier to pick up, but harder or more difficult to master because of how unique every character is going to be in this game. Because this is the most unique. Characters are going to be the most unique in this game than they are in any other Street Fighter game, because there isn't like a universal mechanic. Like everybody has their own mechanic. Like special thing. That's the V trigger and V skill thing. Yeah. Like in Third Strike, you had parrying and you had the universal overhead, and in this you have a focus attack, and there isn't really one of those things.
I mean, they're all universal. So
yeah, but I'm saying everybody's V skill is different. Yeah. So, and V trigger is different. That's like instinct and killer instinct.
I really feel I think Capcom might have snuck someone into the NRS office and like, how can we kind of rip off variations, but not completely do it? And with the whole everybody being unique in their own way, it's kind of, I mean, my brain died, but.
So wait, what is a variation?
In MKX, the variations, everyone has 3 different ones, and each variation gives you a unique ability that the other one won't have.
Right. So you can play Kung Lao, except there's 3 different versions of them, but it's not so different to where you have to completely learn the character.
They give you a few moves that are universal in each variation, but then each one has like 1 or 2, sometimes even 3 moves that are completely different from another variation.
Yeah.
And then like when you pop your V trigger in Street Fighter 5, your character gets a whole bunch of different other perks that they don't get normally. And everybody's is unique. And like Charlie or Nash, he's the only one so far that doesn't have like a special mode that he goes into. He just gets a different teleport.
Right.
Which is actually, I don't think bad at all. Mm. A lot of people have complained about it.
Like a couple characters that have something like that.
Yeah.
Where they don't go into like install like power up mode, they just perform something.
And I think when Street Fighter 5 comes out, it will even be more appealing than like Street Fighter 4 when that came out. That was like the second wave of fighters. Everybody got back into fighting games, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then, but like I said, a lot of people, and you said that too. It is intimidating, and a lot of people I know want to play Street Fighter 4. They just don't want to. Not that they don't want to put the time into it, but you have to put a lot of time into it to be good.
Really passionate.
To not get knocked out 0-2 in a tournament.
Right.
It takes a lot more than you think.
Well, even just to win games online now in Street Fighter 4, because the game's been out for 6 years, you have to be good. Like, granted, I'm talking about Xbox because people on PC are pretty average and people on PS4 are pretty average, but like, it's tough. And with Street Fighter 5 coming out, it's a brand new game, everybody has to learn it, and it's going to be a little bit easier, and they took the best parts of all the other fighting games, and they're basically bringing out the best. This is going to be the best fighting game.
It's looking like it's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to kill every other fighting game.
Yeah.
And I finally think that it will go towards the casual market a little more. So, because Street Fighter's always been a little more niche
Right.
than Mortal Kombat. Everybody's like, oh, Mortal Kombat. Even if they don't go to tournaments or even know about tournaments, people will buy Mortal Kombat. Like Injustice and Mortal Kombat 9 sold really well, and so did Mortal Kombat 10, and because it sells to the casual player and the hardcore player. And the people like me who just buy them just to own them. I've played it once the whole time I've owned it.
Yeah, I've always felt Mortal Kombat's been a very, it's a spectacle of a game. Like, Killer Instinct's the same to me. Like, I don't want to play either of those games, but I love watching them just because of how hype those games are. Street Fighter, it's only hype if you understand how complex the game is. Like, you know what they're doing. Yeah. And, but it's a household name almost, I would say, but it's just not
everywhere in pop culture.
Right.
Like, it's in Family Guy.
Van Damme.
Yeah.
So many Jackie Chan.
But, it's just, I've always felt like there's been a huge disconnect with, like, especially, like, mainly Capcom fighting games in general. But there's just, like, this wall of skilled player versus non-skilled players, and it's just, neither really benefit from, like, meeting the other. I've been on both sides to where I'm playing someone and I'm just so bad that they're not getting anything out of it. They're just beating the crap out of me. I'm not learning anything. And then I've been on the other side where I'm just like, I'm kind of bored. Like, I feel bad for beating this person. Like, I don't want anybody to hold back on me, so I don't hold back on someone else, but.
The big problem with that is, always a lot of lack of communication between, like, somebody trying to learn and somebody teaching. Because, like, when the person's trying to teach somebody something from the ground up, like, there's so much that goes into it, like footsies. Somebody that's just learning isn't going to know what footsies are. Like, that's something only a hardcore player is going to know about. And, like, there's articles and videos and all sorts of information that you have to know just to, like, start playing the game and just to, like, have a conversation about fighting games with somebody.
Right,
like,
yeah.
If I talk to if I say something about something to, like, my friends that don't watch fighting games, they're like, I have no idea what you just said.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. And I was talking about it with Mark on the way here about fighting games are almost their own language to an extent. Like, they have their own language because there's so much to it. You know, and I've had a time where I wanted to get better at fighting games, but I would go online and look at some of the articles and I would just be like, nope, this looks like I'm reading Chinese right now. I can't understand any of it. It's too much for my brain to process right now. I can't do it.
Pretty much. Each little fighting game community, also like the anime fighters or the Tekken fighters or the MK fighters or the Street Fighter fighters, the way they talk about combos and stuff is different too. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 is left punch, right punch, left kick, right kick in MK and in Tekken. But if you're talking numbers in anime, that's the notation on the stick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Right.
1 is down back. Yeah, so it's like, or LP, light punch, or in Street Fighter, light punch is jab. So, it's like, even, yeah.
Within the fighting games, there's also, like, different sub-languages.
Yes.
It's like if you move to China, you don't, there's not Chinese, there's Mandarin, Cantonese.
Exactly, and that's the same thing with fighting games, too. It's crazy. And people that aren't into it don't understand how much you put into it, too. Yeah.
For me, this is a very complex game of, like, chess. It's like chess and reaction time combined, because you have to learn what each player on the field does, like what each character does, but you also have to learn, like, the controls, you have to learn, you know, anticipation, you know, it's just like chess, you have to plan what they're gonna do and make your moves accordingly, but also, like, be on the offensive and the defensive at the same time. It's just this...
And be able to do it when you need to do it. Oh, you can hit it every day in training mode, can't hit it in tournament, doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I really think it's the virtual version of martial arts. Because
for sure.
I've studied martial arts. You have to practice the basics over and over again to the point to where it's second nature.
Yeah.
And then you do that so much that it comes out at the right time, you know, and that's how you do Mortal Kombat. That's how you do self-defense, martial arts. You do that over and over again. Same thing with fighting games. You understand, you know, the footsies like you said, or just any move in general. And very much you have to understand what they're going to do, what you want to do to them, you know, get into their head, also head games, not just fighting back and forth.
I'll do this 6 times in a row, and then not do it the 7th or something like that.
Right.
Or they'll be like trying to bait out a DP or something, you won't do it the whole game, and then it's like, man, this guy is just letting me do whatever I want to him. Okay, well, I'm going to do this thing that's really unsafe that I wouldn't do, and then you just DP into Ultra or whatever, and then win the match, or just stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think the basics are going to be Like footsies is going to be what's going to be very dominant in Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, I've heard that a
Like,
few times too.
You can get away with a lot of stuff in Street Fighter 4 because of the hard knockdowns and everything like that, but I think there's only 2 ways to get hard knockdowns in Street Fighter 5, and that's off of super and off of certain moves. Like, but if you sweep somebody, it's not a hard knockdown, or if you throw, it's not a hard knockdown anymore.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of just back and forth standing mid-range game and throw mix-ups, because you can't crouch attack either. You have to stand attack. So that's going to be a big deal too.
Yeah.
But they changed the throw ranges to the throw ranges are smaller. So, like, I feel like people like Alex Valle, like old dudes that were, I don't want to say old dudes that were good at, like, Alpha or Third Strike, they're going to be monsters in Street Fighter 5. I will say this, the better player doesn't always win in a lot of modern fighting games, because there is a comeback factor, and it's really strong in Street Fighter 4.
Right.
One knockdown can lose you the whole match.
Yeah, trust me, I've learned that.
And it doesn't even matter how much you know about the match, because everything is a guess. And you'll be put in a situation where no matter what you do, it's unfavorable for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that. And I play characters that put you in those situations.
Yeah. It definitely is. For someone who's learning Street Fighter 4, I'm definitely on the tail end of the skill level compared to everyone here. It's a very weird feeling, that comeback factor, the ultra meter. You know,
yes.
It's very, it's not very satisfying to me. Like, I love when I get it off, because it isn't always easy to pull off, especially for someone of my skill level, but I feel like my win wasn't fully earned if I had to use that ultra. It takes away, like, a fourth of your health, you know? It's not completely my skill. It's this pre-programmed, animation that's happening that does a lot of damage for me getting beat up.
Yep.
You know?
Well, the same thing in Marvel, you get X Factor. Like, there's so many, like, there's a montage of Justin Wong having level 3 Akuma X Factor comebacks.
Yeah.
Like, he kills all 3 characters.
The Wong factor.
I mean, that's a real thing, but the comeback factor is so ridiculous in a lot of games right now.
Yeah.
And Killer Instinct's not that bad about it.
I don't think so.
I don't know enough about Mortal Kombat to say that, but, like, the comeback factor is ridiculous in Street Fighter 4.
Mortal Kombat just has a lot of high-lows.
Yeah.
And if you don't give, you can block something high all day, but you might do a quick little kick and it's a low, and then you're messed up just from that. That's probably one of my biggest demons from MK is, and I don't know the characters like that. I'll play it 24 hours a day, so I don't know every single high low, and that's usually what I get beat out on. Is I could be winning that whole match from spacing or something, but you get me in a corner situation and you got some tricky setups, I don't know it. Well, you're done. Mm-hmm. And the damage is pretty extensive with a lot of characters.
Yeah, I've noticed that. But Mortal Kombat, I'm not going to talk bad about it.
Now, with the comeback factor, the ultra meter.
Well, it's not even about ultra meter either. You get put in a situation where it's 50-50-50, and if you DP or if you try to reversal or something like that, you're still in that situation. It doesn't get you out of that situation. Or if you backdash, you could still be put in that situation because of option selects. So your only option is to block, but there's also unblockables.
Right.
That aren't taken out of the game, that are still 100% in the game, that I still use. Mm-hmm. Like if I hit an ultra on somebody in the corner with Viper, I have a guaranteed unblockable afterwards, which leads into, I don't know how much damage, but it leads into a lot of damage afterwards. So.
Alright. Do you think they made the comeback factor to kind of help get new people? Because I feel like they tried to get new people into the game.
Yeah, I definitely think that's why there's a comeback factor, to help.
Do you guys think that was a good idea, though? Because, I mean, I understand.
Like, you're talking about Ultrameter and X Factor?
Right.
Yeah. I think that's why those mechanics were added.
Hell, even the X-Ray in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, exactly.
Press 2 buttons to get, like, 40 damage.
40%
damage. That's a comeback factor.
But,
yeah, like...
As someone who's played fighting games for so long, do you think that's a good idea to get new people in, or would you think there's a better alternative than just, some sort of strong comeback factor?
The best thing that they're doing right now is, with Street Fighter 5, how they're making it really unique, and it's still going to play like a Street Fighter game, but it's going to be less execution heavy, and and visually very pleasing.
Yeah, it does
Like,
look very nice.
Street Fighter V is going to do way better than Tekken 7. Because Tekken has played the same for so many years, and Tekken is really difficult to play at a high level. Because movement is key. And, like, if you watch American high-level Tekken and you watch Korean high-level Tekken, it's not even the same game.
Really?
Yeah, Korea is so much better at Tekken than we are. It's not even funny. Like, you'll see, just movement-wise, like, Americans will take games off Koreans every now and then, but, like, they're not even playing the same game. Like, it has to be accessible, and it has to be entertaining, and
Street Fighter 5 is going to do that.
Yeah, Street Fighter 5 will do it. I mean, Street Fighter 4 did its job of making every other company start making, like, it made Mortal Kombat come back.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, hey, they did it right. They went back to the basics. Even Street Fighter 4 is easier than the old fighting games. Like, to do a super, you have to do 2 quarter circles really fast. The window's huge in Street Fighter 4. Like, anybody can do it. Same with, they made shortcuts for DPs. Like, it is a lot easier, and they did add the comeback factor. So I think that was a great way to get people back into fighting games, or get people into fighting games, period.
Yeah, I think it made fighting games really relevant again.
Yeah,
you know,
it 100% did.
There was a small window of time, you know, like 5 years ago and back 10.
I want to say it was 10-ish.
But for a short while, fighting games weren't like that huge. They weren't.
I didn't know anybody that played fighting games except Smash Brothers, and that's not a fighting game.
Oh man.
It's not. It's a party game.
I still love it though. I play it competitively. I play the party game competitively.
Until when the dark ages were going on in fighting games, it was like, if you actually still, like, played fighting games at all, you felt like a princess trapped in a castle by yourself. All you're doing was locked up in your room in training mode. And you had, like, in this area, in Southwest Michigan, there weren't many. We had a couple of locals at GameStop, but
there weren't even, like, it's not like we had arcades or anything.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah.
I played Street Fighter at the pizza place, DiMaggio's down the road. That's how I first started playing Street Fighter. Because they had a Street Fighter 2 cabinet there, and everybody, all the adults would be doing whatever they were doing, and I'd be playing Street Fighter against the computer. I was like, man, this game is awesome. I was terrible, but it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
One of the arcade fun games in the mall, it had fighting games, but there wasn't like a huge community crowd around them or nothing like that. I grew up going to it, and you'd see that one guy that was wrecking everybody because he didn't know nobody else knew how to do what he was doing.
Yeah.
You know, because he really put those quarters in, but that arcade was pretty short-lived. It didn't stay long, and it was pretty sad to watch it go, because it did have a lot, but there's just not really too much of a huge community in the Southwest area.
I guess in the Detroit area, like,
you gotta go east.
It was Wizards. It was the arcade that everybody went to back in the day. I don't know anything about it, but yeah, then you look at, like, the old documentaries of Chinatown Fair, and you get to see all that stuff. It's like, man, I didn't even know that was a thing.
What is Chinatown Fair?
It's a arcade in New York. It's where Justin Wong and all those players used to play.
We got replaced. It's Next Level
Battle Circuit.
Yeah. Well, the venue is called Next Level now, but it used to be Chinatown Fair.
Huh.
There's a documentary on Justin on all of that stuff from, I don't know how many years ago it was. It was, wow.
I'll have to check that out.
And then Mike Watson's arcade just got denied for.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with that. Ben was
California's arcade that was really
and popular. They raised enough money for it too, from what I understand.
Oh man.
Like the government or something shutting down.
To get back to the characters, the one I'm really excited for is Ken. I watched a lot of his gameplay videos, and of all the characters they released so far that have already been in one of the older ones, I feel like he's the most shocking of a change.
Yeah.
But very welcome, at least for me.
Finally. That's all I have to say is finally.
Yeah.
Because now he plays how Ken is supposed to play, I guess. I don't know. In my head.
His fighting style matches his personality.
Yes. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. Instead of just being a Ryu clone.
Right.
Like, he was cool in Alpha, because he had stuff. And then CVS, he had a role. And
yeah, I wish he'd bring that back.
Like, he had a little stuff in certain games, but a lot of that didn't even matter that much.
No, not really.
Because at tournament level, you didn't see it, so...
No. I really love how, because for the longest time, Ken's always felt like a good Smash player. He's always felt like Fox and Falco with Ryu and Ken.
Yeah.
And they really like you saying earlier, they
like
separate them.
the worst version, like a worse version of Ryu.
Yeah, like
basically.
now, if you play the
Except
newest
in
Smash
Third
Bros,
Strike.
Fox and Falco are like totally different. They're not the
Yeah.
same character anymore.
Yeah.
And I like that they're doing that with Ken and Ryu. You know, as I joke around, Ryu's still walking around in this like day one karate gi, where Ken's like, screw that, I'm rich, I'm gonna put on some new clothes.
Some
You know,
Under
like,
Armour.
It looks like
Ryu
he's
hits
coming
like
out
a
of a
tank.
gym.
Ryu hits
Out
like
of
a
gym
tank
or
now,
something,
though.
you know? Yeah, he still looks boss,
Well,
like
you
you're
would
saying, but Ken was like, you know, it's time for a change of clothes, you know?
Yeah.
Those nice shirt and some...
I actually do like his outfit too, because he's wearing like an Under Armour shirt and his gi's like down at his sides.
Yeah.
That's sick to me. That's the coolest thing they could
It all completely matches his personality.
Yeah. What people talk about the most is his hair.
Dude, his hair looks like shit. But, I mean, his hairstyle looks fine.
It's
like,
the model.
I'm okay with that.
Well, yeah,
but
character model.
it looks terrible, and I really hope they do something about that.
He has banana bangs.
Yeah, that's really bad. Like, it can't be that difficult. Come on, man. Like, it's 2015.
It's so weird, but when you look at the new dude, Nikali, it's like his hair is all super elegant. Each strand is there, but Ken, like I said, they couldn't even give him individual strands of hair.
I'm hoping they do something because they have 6 months. No,
Yeah.
what month is this? They have longer than that.
Do they have an official release date?
No,
Oh.
that's March-ish.
Okay.
I think that was like on Amazon or something like that. It said March.
A lot lately, though, the last few years, a lot of the companies, whatever month the previous version came out, they usually stick with that.
And it was March
Yeah.
of 2009.
NetherRealm likes April.
NetherRealm likes April.
Huh.
The different companies, they like it different.
Halo likes November.
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty likes November. And
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed
loves
loves
November.
Everybody loves November.
Right
Because
before
of
holiday
Christmas.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
And
Holiday rush.
most people don't. Most companies haven't been shying away from that.
No.
I like that they give us something in the spring so I don't have to go outside during the summer.
Especially in this humidity, trust me, it sucks.
We don't have AC.
Oh. So then you feel my pain, man.
It's like 20 degrees hotter in my room than it is outside. Like when it gets really hot, I'm not exaggerating.
That's terrible. I'm sorry.
I have 3 AC, so I'll be quiet.
Oh. Were there any other characters that made any big changes? Like, I know there's Cammy, there's Ryu, Chun-Li, of course, and
Bison's
Nash.
scissor kick doesn't knock down.
Well, I mean, as far as that goes, Charlie,
Nash,
Nash
Nash.
is kind of a completely different character.
Yeah, that's true.
There's another one that was like a dial clone, like kind of like that we were talking about, kind of Ryu, and now he's
Not even a charge character anymore.
as far as I know, I don't think he has any charge moves, and
Wow.
it's like a zombie and he can teleport.
Kind of an offensive monster.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't get this, there isn't that much good footage of him because he plays so different. Like, everybody, you can play Street Fighter and then go play Bison, or play Street Fighter and go play Ryu. But, like, Xian was playing as Nash, and he was, like, doing work with him and at whatever little exhibition tournament they had.
That was at,
Yeah, and we figured out that you could link 2 target combos together.
Yeah, he
Stuff
was the
like
first
that,
one that did
yeah.
that. I've been seeing people do that. I was wondering who came up with it.
Yeah, he plays completely different.
But when I hear Chun-Li's legs aren't mashable anymore, it's a quarter circle or something like that.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
pretty
That's how
sure
it
so it
was.
wasn't cross-tech.
Yeah.
It was half
that's
circle
not-
and cross tech.
Yeah, it's not completely unheard of for her.
Yeah, wasn't like that in first grade? Or was it
No, you had to
the
match
Kikoken?
Yeah,
No,
that's the Koken.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, she's different, and she hasn't been the same always. I like how everybody's looking though.
The accessibility is what's going to really make that game skyline.
Oh yeah, Bison looks. I really like the way that they're doing Bison too, because he looks like he's like a boss character again. I don't know.
Yeah.
He didn't really seem like a boss character in Street Fighter 4.
Just a dude that was
Yeah.
He did seem kind of weak. I don't know.
Yeah, really lame to play as. He's not saying he's bad. He's just didn't seem like, I don't know,
Yeah.
an intimidating, the most evil being ever.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and plus he's gray now, and which is cool.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Capcom won't release anything on the storyline just yet. They said they're going to release it during something. I don't remember what it was, but When do you guys think it takes place in the storyline?
After Third
Third
Strike.
Strike.
Yeah.
It has to be after Third Strike.
There was some images from the many deaths of Charlie that they released at Comic-Con. It was like this cool Udon book or whatever. There's some images of Charlie getting into a plane or something, and Urien is standing right there.
Oh,
yeah. So they're saying
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, there was a rumor that he might be in it because of that.
I've heard that rumor, but I didn't hear about that.
They just made a shirt with Gil on it too. Like, why would you make a shirt with Gil?
Urian's standing next to Gil's secretary too. I don't remember her name, but in his intro in Third Strike, she's there. She takes his coat or whatever.
Oh wow.
I would like to see both of those. No, I don't want to see Gil. I hate Gil.
Yeah, not Gil.
Well,
I mean, yeah, you had a good point with what you said.
I don't know if Charlie's, so that Urian and Gale both have that little diamond that now Charlie has in his forehead. So they definitely play a part in this game, for sure.
I don't want to see any of those stupid characters like 12 or Necro. Like,
no, I mean, I think those characters are kind of... 12 is weird, Necro is whatever, Oro, I mean...
I want Q and Oro.
I
do want Q and Oro.
And I think they're going to do a really good job, even if they bring a character like that back, so...
Yeah, I mean, they will, if they do, but I just don't. I don't know anything about, like, Street Fighter 3 lore at all. I just know it takes
as with
place.
all of their lore, it's half the time it's either convoluted or just be like,
there's not a lot of canon.
Yeah,
and
they like
it's
to
hard
stop
to
at dead ends.
Well, and it's hard to go what is canon because Capcom is like, oh, here, yeah, you guys can do whatever you want with this comic.
And I kind of hope they stop that with 5. Don't lay me out and give me a character like Abel and go, oh, he doesn't remember who he is. That as a guy who made up characters and likes to draw and stuff, I feel like I'm being lazy if I just go, oh, he can't remember who he is, but he knows all the badass judo and stuff like that.
Right,
yeah. I feel it's kind of lazy, and I hope they stop it with 5. And
one of the things that I think helps like Mortal Kombat so much was a really good story mode, and I would like that in Street Fighter 5 also. Honestly, it's freaking overdue. They've never done that in any game. Everybody has a different ending. There's nothing canon. There's multiple comics. There's animes that don't even make any sense.
Yeah.
And Capcom's just like, yeah, do whatever you want.
There's movies that come along with it. Street Fighter 4 had a movie that came with it.
Street Fighter 4 had 2 movies, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, there's one with Juri in it. And she's... I mean, I think that one would... I don't know.
To me, that one was better at least than what we got, the ties that bind that
It was
crap.
still open-ended. Both of them were open-ended.
You're like, what happens? What happens to Juri? Why is she not this good in the game?
Yeah. Man, she just killed, like, everyone.
Right.
But, yeah, so you got Street Fighter Alpha, which is before Street Fighter 2. Then you have Street Fighter 4, which is before Street Fighter 3. So, yeah. If you didn't know that, by the way, Street Fighter 4 is before Street Fighter 3.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, like, that's why, Ken and Ryu are like, older in Street Fighter 3, and Ken has a student and everything, that's why.
Sean?
Yeah.
For me, it's a big wish, and it probably won't happen.
Probably will happen, actually.
If Street Fighter 5 could give me a 2-hour MK9 style story mode, I would probably flip out, and that would probably go. And it actually is good. You give us endings. You tell us what happens to these guys, why they're fighting, what happens to them during the tournament. I'd probably just lose my
some closure.
I really think they will. I really think they will.
I hope they will.
They've been working on this game for years,
man, and
I'm thinking that they will do a story mode. I really do think so. Because they saw the success of MK9 story mode. They've seen the success of MK10. Hasn't NetherRealm Studios completely outsold Street Fighter? Yeah.
And
that's what I thought.
Mortal Kombat's always been like that though.
When
you guys were talking earlier, Mortal Kombat to me, from my years of watching fighting games, has always been the harder game to me. But everyone buys it compared to Street Fighter, which is way easier to play. I taught my girlfriend how to play Street Fighter on a simple level. Mm-hmm. She can sit there and not just button that. But
you have to memorize weird combos. Well, it's not. It's a little more freestyle in Street Fighter.
Yeah,
I mean, they're set combos, but everything's target combos in
You gotta
Mortal
commit
Kombat.
to so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. That's why I don't like it.
The hit confirms.
What is that?
You know, that's what, you know, I've asked, I was watching Perfect Legend streaming one time, and I just threw in the chat just to see if he'd answer. I asked, like, hey, why don't any Japanese players play MK? And he said his response was they don't like the fact that there's not many hit confirms and you have to commit to too much.
It's more, honestly, it's a lot of guessing. That's why I don't like it.
He said there were a few, but they all drop it. They don't go in.
Yeah.
But I've seen Japanese players that picked up KI.
I just watched the Killer Instinct top 8 today for the first time from Evo.
How was that?
Oh, it was amazing.
Sleep, man.
I know,
that
dude.
comeback.
He played so well. He played really well. Enrico finally won. And then the Japanese, yeah. That dude did some ridiculous stuff.
That's crazy.
He was clutch. Everybody was really clutch. That was a really good top 8.
And that's been to me was always, Killer Instinct was one of the more, from where I grew up, just the hood games, you know. All my friends loved MK and Killer Instinct, but they hated Street Fighter, and that's all I liked.
Huh.
I sucked at Mortal Kombat, and I only could watch my buddies go back and forth doing money matches on Killer Instinct. I watched. I'm like, hey, I ain't letting that embarrassing stuff happen to me. But I could never get them to play Street Fighter with me, because they already knew I would. You know.
Yeah, I always favored Street Fighter.
Yeah, I always liked Street Fighter.
I hated the inputs for MK.
Yeah, I could.
I would play Mortal Kombat 1 with my cousins and smoke them all, but then they would tell their dad I was cheating because I was using special moves. Like, dude, that's a part of the game. Right? And then I wasn't allowed to play anymore. Right?
That's
like,
lame.
legitimately, we weren't allowed to play fighting games because they would throw a fit. And I'm like, I'm just playing the game. Sorry, your kid sucks at the game.
Right. And Street Fighter always goes down with me because my uncle, we grew up in the Hard Knocks. My uncle he introduced us to Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo, and he would always pick Bison. And if you could not beat Slide and Psycho Crusher after that, you just get
Was it Championship Edition?
Mm-hmm. And
the super broken version of Bison where you can't do anything.
Yeah, and we'd be crying, pissed, and he'd just tell us, hey, am I winning? Yeah, and then I'm not doing anything wrong. That's why I laugh when guys come around and play and they're like, oh, you're just doing the same move. And hey, that's how we grew up. And if it works and you're winning, it doesn't matter what you do.
Honestly, I never got to play fighting games that much for a while. So like in Halo, a lot of people were like, oh, you're not allowed to do this at the lands that I would go to. And I was like, what? Okay, so I didn't do it for the longest time. And then I started playing with people that actually played and went to tournaments. And they had the sword and rockets. They had every power weapon the whole time. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be played. And, I mean, that's more of a bum mentality, really.
Right.
Oh, don't do the thing that works because it wins? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. I've had to learn that the hard way, too.
Yeah, it sucks.
School hard, you gotta take the beat down. Good. You gotta get beat to beat people.
Yeah, if you can't, like, figure out something really, really basic that is so-called scrubby, you can't figure out how to get
around it.
You are the scrub.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree with that now. Like, years ago, old me, no, but, you know.
So cheap.
Right. You get mad and flexible. But, like, it's like, if you think about it, you know, they're left wide open if they're doing some move that's really powerful. More than likely, if you're playing a fighting game, they make it so that you can punish them. You just need to figure out how to do it. That's part of the beauty of a fighting game for the most part. For the ones that I play, at least, you know, is figuring out the strategy of getting to them. You know, how do I stop them from doing what they're doing? How do I punish them? You know, what's the maximum amount of damage? All this other stuff that, you know, I've slowly been learning over time.
I keep yelling at you guys for it.
Right. Right. Yeah, it is really good to have people who are better than you when you're curious, because you can ask them those questions and you can go and learn and figure things out.
And one thing is, though, that a lot of people don't do is they don't put in a lot of effort on their own time. Like we were talking about with figuring out what this means, so you can figure out how to read what you're reading. Like, oh, you see this combo, it says LPXX SRK or something like that. You have no idea what that means. So you got to figure out all of that, and then you have to figure out how to do all of it too. Mm-hmm. And like a lot of people that I've tried to help, and I'm like, you have to do this on your own time. I can't just help you get better because you need to learn these things before you can learn this stuff. Like the basics. Like, go read the Footsie's Manual. Oh, you haven't read it all yet? Read it again. Go read Playing to Win. It's a book by, what's his name? David Serlin? He helped make HDR, but used to play, Super Turbo. And I can't remember if he's an evil winner, but just little stuff like that.
Is there anything you think they can put into Street Fighter V that'll help, like, newbies learn? Like, is there anything...
They're going to have I can almost guarantee they'll have a good tutorial system. I don't know if it's going to be as in-depth as, like, Killer Instinct, or if it'll be just trials, but they'll have something. Because they had trials in Street Fighter 4.
And kind of silly to drop that.
Yeah, they've had a tutorial system in every new fighting game. Even Guilty Gear has a really in-depth tutorial system, and it blew my mind how good it was, actually. I still haven't picked that game up. Like, I own it, but I haven't really played it, but yeah, they'll have something. Because there's a lot of new mechanics, too, so it'll be a tutorial or trials or something like that.
I know you said it's not as important, but frame data.
The reason frame data is important is because at a high level, you need to be able to take advantage of every situation, that every opportunity you're given, because you're not going to get very many opportunities.
Right.
And so, like, say you're only, like, -1 after something, so, like, it's still safe, but you're at a disadvantage in that situation. And if you both press the same button, the same speed of button at the same time, they'll get a counter hit on you. So, here's where the meta comes in. You notice that they keep pressing buttons afterwards. In that situation where you're just slightly negative, you can do an invincible move to beat them out. And so, like, it's the I know that you know that I know that you know thing, the Yomi thing. And knowing your numbers helps a lot. If you don't know your numbers, it's not that big of a deal, but knowing if something's positive or negative is the main thing.
I think it'll be better if you know numbers compared to, because I grew up not knowing numbers.
Yeah.
Not giving a damn, just beating people just off the mental of the game.
Yeah.
But then when I met guys like you, and you guys knew your numbers, and I'm like, holy crap, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah. You can't do that.
Right. They know. Also, they know already how to counter this.
I spent a weekend, with at UFGT a long time ago, and I played with Dominion almost all weekend, and I think I took maybe 2 games off of him, and, like, I played hours with this dude, and he was like, well, this was before I knew Brandetta, and, like, all my stuff, he was like, well, you seem like you're good, your execution's good, you're doing stuff correctly, but when you're in a situation, you don't seem like you know what button to press at the right time. And I was like, huh. So that made me start, like, crunching the numbers a little bit more and start thinking about stuff like that more. Like, cause I didn't know at that time. I was just kind of going off instinct, I guess, and how my character played, which is Viper, and she gets to do a lot of whatever she wants. Well, she used to, at least. Because she used to be better.
I kind of had that same moment when, I think it was not yesterday, but last Monday, when you were saying the same thing, pretty much the same thing to me. And, like, I kind of know, like, I know about frame data and whatnot, but, you know, when I'm fighting someone, sometimes I start doing things habitually or instinctually. Yeah. And, I'm like, why am I doing that?
It's real easy to go autopilot, too.
Yeah.
Which is the worst thing, which is what online does, which is why I'm not playing on Xbox Live and I'm playing on this, because I'm playing a whole different people. I'm playing people that have never owned an Xbox, probably. You know? Right. So they play completely differently. I'm seeing styles from, like, vanilla. Like, honestly, like, I haven't really ran into anybody that good either. And which is why we were streaming too. So we can kind of break that habit of just doing the same thing over and over. And
somebody in the chat yells at you and go, hey, stop doing that.
Ben will tell me to stop doing
you guys are right next to each other.
Yeah.
So why do you keep doing this?
Like, before we started streaming, that's what we were doing. We were just playing pass the stick. He plays a game, I play a game. Hey, in that situation, you keep doing this. You should stop doing that. Do this instead, or do nothing instead, and see what he's gonna do.
Yeah. I'd love to see you guys do a video of that because, like you play characters that I want to play or I do play, like Ken. And so, like, hearing your guys' conversation and seeing your gameplay would definitely help out. Like, I don't know, watching someone from me and imitating them is kind of a good way for me to learn. Because, like, I know why they do certain things. I can memorize it.
Well, see, a lot of people, one thing that I really want to see people do videos of is a video of why they're doing, like, their mentality in that situation.
Exactly.
And there aren't very many videos of that.
Yeah.
Like,
Saban tried for a while
Did
and
he?
he stopped.
Like, people do breakdowns of other people play, but they don't do breakdowns of their own play.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, would be more interesting, because you could be like, what made you do that right there?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Or, well, he had been doing this for so many times. I wanted to see what, whatever.
Yeah. Sadly, I think it's easier said than done, because a lot of people aren't that self-analytical.
Exactly.
To be able to break down why they're doing what they're doing.
Exactly.
Which is a kind of a bummer, because I love getting into skill people's brains and seeing why they do it.
Yeah.
But especially in the gaming community, communication isn't one of their strongest suits. Because you have
It's
to
actually
know,
really bad.
Yeah, right. I don't want to bash my own community, but we're not very great socializers,
It's getting better.
Yeah.
It's getting a lot better.
Yeah, like we have coaches and stuff now. Like video game coaches are a thing now. They're big in the mobile community.
It's crazy.
Which that's great to me, to be honest. Like your job, like that's what I would want to do is like to sit down, get in someone's brain. Like I see how you think. This is how you need to play to get better. That's kind of where I fit in. Like I'll never be like the number one player, but I know I can learn a lot. But I'm able to break down what I know and like or what someone else is doing.
Yeah.
And like say, hey, this is what you're doing. This is what you're doing wrong. This is what you're doing right. This is how you should focus on it.
That's we're gonna be like with the streaming. It is going like and watching each other play will help us be more self-aware because when we went to CEO, we found out we've been real lazy. Like we got to play with the South Florida community guys, and like we weren't getting smoked, but we weren't, playing like how we used to play.
Like you did at Combo Break. You guys did pretty good at Combo Break.
We did okay. I mean, my gameplay was really sloppy, honestly. I kind of got lucky. I kind of had a really easy bracket, and the guy that most of the people I was playing were more nervous than me, and people I played, I've already smoked like in tournaments multiple times. Like I run into, her name's Guilty. I run into her at every tournament in Chicago, and I beat her every time because she's okay. She plays a decent Makoto, but I counterpick with Cammy because Makoto beats Viper. And Cammy beats Makoto for pretty free.
Yeah. Do you think you'll see that problem?
Counterpicks?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always going to be matchups.
Every fight.
Yeah, I mean, especially with how unique every fighter is going to be in Street Fighter V, from what it looks like at least. You're going to run into your bad matchups. I don't know how bad the matchups are going to be since we've only seen 6 characters, but you're going to have your people that counter fireball people. You're going to have your people that counter grapplers. Then you'll have your, I didn't get very much time with it when I played it, but then you'll have your rush, it seems like they're putting in legitimate rushdown characters, Cammy seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Her hit confirms are really good.
Dude, there's 16 characters. Learn everybody, at least to know what they can do.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
We're coming from 50 and 40.
Yeah.
Come on. The smaller the roster, the better time you should have with the game.
Honestly, yes, and I'm glad that I'm getting 16 characters. How many was in vanilla when it came out?
30?
No. I think 20-ish. Around 24 or something like that.
Yeah, I'd like less characters for right now so I can actually take time to learn them all.
I mean, and to me, when you have it like that makes
is it 4?
You see way more godlike stuff. Like, look at the Skullgirls players. Like, those tournaments are so crazy hype. You see some of the most ridiculous stuff.
Because everybody can play everybody at a really high level.
You watch those old legends play Super Turbo and stuff, man. They go crazy with almost anybody.
Well, that's what Valle said. He's like, you kids have it easy. We didn't have the internet back then. We would sit down and play it for hours and learn every character, everything about every single character. And it's like, he's not the only old head that said that. There's this guy named Elliot Kuma that made an actual video about it. Said, my buddy and I would sit down with a notepad and think of every situation possible in the whole game with every character and write
Finally,
everything
now
down.
spoil you, man.
That's
It
really
holds your
cool.
hand way
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
the old ones did.
Oh, and it's easier, and like, but we have the internet now, so
We're in the information age right now, which
Yeah.
is a good thing, but sometimes
Right.
it gets taken for advantage.
It is.
taken advantage for.
I'm one of the people that take advantage of it. I'm real lazy about it, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to not be.
Yeah.
Honestly, like Ben puts in a lot of work and watches a lot of videos. I don't watch any videos up until recently is when I started trying to watch more videos of stuff. But like, he's watched hours and hours and hours of Killer Instinct, and I'm like, hey Ben, how do I do this?
You just got a copy of his homework.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's honestly what it is. You know what the messed up part is I was the same way in school.
Well, I had a realization.
Yeah, I did too. Wow, that's crazy. It's like, I'm not gonna because I just never really wanted to do it.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of the same way. Like, I learned just from watching other people and figuring out why they do things, and then, like, I don't have to practice it as often to get into my head. I just have to actually sit down and practice it, though.
Yeah.
Come up with a lot of stuff in the lab back at grandma's, but when we finally moved out and actually got internet, I just became a thief.
Yeah.
There's YouTube. Oh, you can do that? Oh, man, you can do that. And just start stealing everybody's combos.
Yeah, I love it. I love kind of what this fighting game community is. Going to Combo Breaker really opened my eyes to seeing, like, what goes on, you know.
And you know what? You're lucky, though, because it wasn't always, like, that was the most extravagant Chicago tournament that, hands down, that has ever happened. Up until that, like, UFGT was good. UFGT was great. Keith's great TO. Like, Combo Breaker was outrageous. Because they went above and beyond with everything. CEO was pretty much the same thing, except bigger and better.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just trying to keep doing it bigger and better every year. Combo Breaker is going to be more ridiculous next year. CEO is going to be more ridiculous next year.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already planning on going to both of those.
Yeah, I think a big thing is that it's becoming more of a legitimate part of society, you know?
It is.
It's not some outskirts.
Because we're not kids anymore.
Right,
we're
yeah.
adults, and we have money, and we can fund ourselves to do this kind of thing. So that's
Right.
what we want to do.
You know, we have all these, you know, like, we have Shake who has a house at M and he's starting that. We have Jeff that has, like, he has a graphic art company pretty much, but also centers it around gaming and can have these sponsors for these tournaments and stuff by us for us, essentially.
Pretty much.
And, it's like this community, us and then the people a little bit before us are pretty much the creators now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not just this random small thing. It's an actual community.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely growing. Definitely growing. And then you get the younger generations that are getting into it too now. Mm-hmm. They're not just playing Call of Duty anymore. They're like, oh, fighting game.
Right.
Oh,
right.
What is this?
Yeah,
this is sick.
Younger and younger.
Yeah.
Didn't 801 Strider have to find over your oldest son?
I was just about to say something about that. That poor kid. I just saw that video. He was really young, but I guess they're going to be doing something for him. I don't know what exactly. Ben said something about it.
Yeah, they announced that the 801 mods, whatever that is like, might be a stick or something, but they're actually trying to help that kid out somehow.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he got
cool.
triple perfected, and he was like 12.
Aww. That's sad.
And that was literally the very first match.
Oh, man.
Damn. That's rough. I'm sorry for that kid.
Hey, you gotta learn.
You're right.
You gotta learn.
Yeah. How did
true.
he handle it? Did he cry?
No, I mean,
He got up and was like,
Okay, well there you go. That's a
Strider was like,
Oh,
It was
well, everybody started going in, and so we started playing.
Yeah, it was really awesome though.
Okay.
It was entertaining.
Alright, well we'll have to do another one of these when we actually play Street Fighter 5, because it'd be cool to pick your brains again. You know, this is really fun.
Hey, I'm down, dude.
Alright.
I always say that. But
Let everybody know where they can find you. So Shake, where can they find you guys? Or find the House of M.
House of M Gaming Facebook page, Twitter, same name, and Mark Tucker is my personal Facebook page.
And Holden, where can they find you?
at Holdy. Holdy is spelled Holdy, and that's for Twitter. And my gamer tags on PSN and Xbox Live are Umeholdy, Umeholdy.
And then Ben, where can they find you?
Yeah, the best way to get a hold of me is on Twitter. My Twitter, YouTube, I haven't uploaded in a long time, but there's some old matches I put up on there. And then my Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch account are all Octopus on Fire, spelled with zeros.
Okay, and I'll put all these in the show notes as well so that everybody can check it out.
My Twitch is Umeholdy.
Okay.
Also, everything.
But as always, I'm ThePhilocypher. You can find me on Facebook.com/philosopher, Twitter @ThePhilocypher, and then YouTube.com/ThePhilocypher. And you'll find this video and then all our other stuff over at theconsoleexplosion.com. You can check us out in the forums as well, and then be a part of our multi-channel community. But again, I'm ThePhilocypher, and I'll see you guys in the next one. 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 I'll see you guys in the next one.